Hi everyone, in this video we're going to be making another recipe from the American Girl cookbooks, and we are once again into Samantha. And as I mentioned before, Samantha was the only doll that I had as a child growing up, being obsessed with the American Girl catalog. I remember seeing in the books, they had the little card in the back of it that you could mail off and get the catalog sent to you. And I, like a lot of you guys, spent hours and hours looking at that catalog and obsessing over it and wanting every single thing in it. And so having the recipes and stuff made was just super fun for me as a kid. I've always been obsessed with cooking. I've always been obsessed with making things from the books that I read. And so having the cookbooks was a really cool way of doing that. So Samantha was the first American Girl that I had. This is actually the one that I had growing up. I was always very careful with her hair, very careful with her clothes to make sure that everything was right. I always wanted the dress to be like her, so I got that recently from Posh Peanut. They are not a sponsor, by the way, but Posh Peanut, if you would like to, we can talk, would love to. So this blueberry muffin recipe was actually mentioned in Happy Birthday Samantha. It is a creaming recipe, not a muffin method recipe, even though it's a muffin. So it's actually closer to a cake than a muffin, but it's not very sweet. It's not sweet like a lot of the muffins that we're used to now, because we are much more used to having a lot more sugar and things than we used to be way back in the day, because sugar was not as readily available, even for people that had a good deal of money, which Samantha was more in the wealthier range of things. So hopefully you enjoy this video, and here we go.
Start by greasing your muffin tin with shortening, and the easiest thing to do this with is a paper towel. Just dip it in the shortening and run it around the edges, and it'll happen very quickly. You do need shortening for this and not spray, because the shortening will keep it from sticking a little better. Then you're going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar and 3 tablespoons of shortening to your bowl. And this is going to, like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a creaming recipe, which means that we are going to be creaming the fat and sugar together until it's light and fluffy. So this is going to take a little bit of arm work. You can do this with a mixer, but I prefer to just use my hands since this is a historic recipe and they would not have had mixers then. You are doing this until the sugar doesn't feel gritty anymore and it gets light and fluffy, and the texture is going to change a little bit. And this is going to give you a little bit of volume in the recipe as well to help out that baking powder a little bit. Then you're going to crack your egg into the bowl and mix that into the shortening and sugar mixture until it is incorporated. And this is going to help with an emulsion, because the lecithin in that egg is going to help the fat and water from the milk mix. And then you're going to add your milk in and get that incorporated in there very well as well. And you can switch to a whisk at this point, but you're going to probably want the wooden spoon once you add the flour and other dry ingredients in as well. And we are sifting in some flour, baking powder, and salt at this point. And the only reason we are sifting this in is not to separate the flour or anything. It is literally to mix it. This is the way of mixing these dry ingredients together. So it's more of a function of mixing than it is a function of separating things. And you want to mix this until it's barely combined, because the more you mix this, the tougher the muffins are going to be. And then you are going to add in 1 cup of fresh blueberries and mix these in gently. And you don't want to mix these too much, because you will burst the blueberries. And in some cases you can coat these in flour so they won't stick, but this batter is so thick that you're not really going to have an issue with that. Then you are going to scoop these into a 1/2 cup muffin pan, and scooping is always a great way to put batter into a pan, because it's a lot more even and you know exactly how much you're getting. You're going to bake these at 400 for 20 to 25 minutes. And you will know they are done when you press them and the muffins spring back. If they leave a dent, they're not quite done yet. Using the toothpick test, they are going to be overdone. I never use the toothpick test. That's how you end up with dry muffins and cakes and cupcakes. and that's what they look like. And when you're done, you're going to let them cool off a little bit, pull them out of the pan, and enjoy them. These are great with butter and jam. Hopefully this is a recipe that you tried to try out while you were reading the books. It's a great way to incorporate a hands-on activity with reading. It's a great way to connect with something that you've read as well. Thank you so much for joining us this time, and let us know which dolls that you had or which dolls that you wanted to have in the comments below, and how you connected with these books when you were younger, or how you are connecting with these books and dolls with your kids now. Just a little reminder, we do have our 2 different membership levels that we have available, and these membership levels give you early access to our videos, and they also will have live streams once we get some members going. This is a great way to support our channel and to have some extra access to ask questions if you are wondering things about recipes or family recipes. I've had several opportunities to take recipes that my friends have and that they have not been able to get to work and help them get those working. So if you have those kind of things that you'd like to do, signing up for a member is a great way to do that. Otherwise, if you'd like to support me for absolutely free, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, send us a comment with how you connect with our videos, and we will see you next week.